In this video, I want to challenge and reframe the way you've been making content. Because most likely for the past couple of years, as you make content, it probably follows this process where you ideate a piece of content or you look at what other people are doing within your niche, you copy the format, you take that piece of content, you add your own spin to it, you post it, and you just focus on volume, consistency, because that's what the top gurus tell you. This is what some of the best business owners like Alex and Mosey tell you to do. And yet your conversions are still low. And the thing I'm going to teach you today, just a simple belief shift, was the biggest reason why I've been able to scale my business to just under $2 million in revenue, plus help people with the exact same method scale their businesses through content by posting less, but being more intentional with their content. And this specific framework is very, very easy. Every time before I record a piece of content, I take an idea, and first and foremost, I need to understand, okay, who's my ICP? Who are the people that I'm trying to speak to? Because a lot of people, they speak Chinese to people that speak Spanish. And it doesn't matter how great your information or your knowledge or your message is, if people can't understand it, or if they can't resonate with your message, it doesn't matter. And this is the problem with people. They'll post 5 pieces of content, and only one piece of content was actually built for the specific ICP. And then they're like, oh no, and then that piece of content might convert or might do well, and they'll attribute the success to all these 5 pieces of content, but you don't realize that it was only one video that was actually good, and it was only good by luck, and then the 4 other videos don't land. And what most people don't understand as well is you can increase your probability of making sure your videos land, or making sure that that video has a specific intent, that even though, yeah, it might not be a direct CTA, but at least it might still build some sort of relatability. It might nurture the client in a specific way. It might reframe or belief shift them in a specific way. And that's what you need to do with your content, is that every single piece of content needs to have a commercial job. And when I say commercial job, doesn't necessarily mean it needs to sell your specific offer directly. Some pieces of content sell you, okay? We break this down into 3 pillars. We break content production into 3 pillars. And every single pillar has a specific job. And these 3 pillars go like this. Content that first and foremost sells you. People need to understand who you are, what you do, why you, right? People need to understand what it is about your vision, your purpose. People need to like you. This is very important. There's many times where I've bought from people. Certain people might have a better product than this guy or a better service, but I bought it because I like this person more. I resonate with him more. His values, right, resonate with me more. Morals, ethics. So this is the number 1 thing. Most people make content only about their service. They make content, they show results, etc. But a lot of people don't just care about that. When you have an abundance of choice, it's in the small things such as, do I actually like this person? So especially when you're selling to people that have a lot of options, and you're selling in a very competitive market, you need to sell you first. Secondly, we sell why. Like, you need to sell the methodology. What about your method is different, okay? You need to sell the problem first. You need to sell the solution to that problem, okay? So this is your middle of funnel content, which people call it. And this is always going to be your value content. This is going to be the bulk and the majority of your content. And then we need to sell the why us in specific. What specifically about my company, or what specifically about me can I do for you that everyone else can't do? And these are the 3 types of content that you need to rinse over and over and over again. The problem with top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel content is that most people have very, very different definitions for it. One person might think middle of funnel content is value content. One person might think middle of funnel content, they'll mix it up with what bottom of funnel content does. No one has a real definition for that, which is why I like to break it into those 3 pillars. Why you, why your methodology, and why you specifically as a person. When you break it down into these 3 pillars, it's a lot more easier to ideate content. So every single time now that I have a piece of content, I like to map it out. What does it do? Okay, so I typically have it in my content calendar, which is a content system that I built out for myself, and I map it out. Which piece of content does this fall under? If it falls under none of these, I don't even create the piece of content in the first place, because my time is very, very valuable. So I want to be a lot more intentional with my time. Then, on top of that, I also like to measure how much of each content am I pushing out as well. So I typically have a metrics within my performance dashboard that checks, am I posting too much middle of funnel content? Am I posting too much top of funnel content? And you need to have a monthly recap of, okay, I'm struggling with getting in leads and I'm struggling with eyeballs, I'm struggling with views. So this month I focus specifically on top of funnel content. So that means at that month, at the start of that month, I've decided that I'm going to go 50% top of funnel, 30% middle of funnel, and 20% bottom of funnel. And that means this month should technically reflect me getting more views, more eyeballs, etc. Then let's say I've done that for 2 months and now I have a lot of people in my pipeline, a lot of people watching my stories, etc., etc. Now I need to optimize for conversion. So this next month, I focus on bottom of funnel content, which will specifically entail more testimonials, more case studies, more videos showing you, your methods, your onboarding process, etc., etc. This month is more focused on conversion. And this is the most powerful way because now I'm incredibly intentful, not just with the content piece itself, but I'm intentful with the whole production of that month as well. And this is how I get so much out of my content, even though I don't need to be posting a lot. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with posting more. But when you're in a position where leverage is incredibly important, typically when you have less resources, when you don't have much people on your team, you don't have a whole content direction team, you don't have editors, etc., etc., this is the stuff that you need to do. And it's also the stuff you need to do when you do have these people. Because now you're able to ramp up your production. You're able to ramp it up from 1 video to 5, 10, 15. This is what the top guys are doing. This is what Alex Hormozi is doing. Is ramping up 15 videos a flipping day. So it's incredibly important that every single piece of content has intent behind it. These pieces of content alone, if it doesn't fall into one of those 3 pillars, scrap the idea.